Welcome back, Madzoka. Now, International Mother Language Day is observed worldwide on the 21st of February to promote awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity and also promote multilingualism. Now, one person who understands this is the founder and CEO of the Rera language school. Born in Lesotho, our next guest lived in a number of countries in Europe and different parts of the continent, learning 9 languages in the process. Her travels did come at a cost, though. Home language fluency. Me Motsabane Thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you.
So this is an important day for you as someone who understands the idea of multilingualism.
Absolutely. It's an important day in any year, but I think in this year particularly it's even more important because the UNESCO has declared this as International Year of Indigenous Languages. So I think it places even greater importance in placing a spotlight on indigenous languages, on indigenous knowledge and culture as well.
All right, so like me, an exiled child, traveled all over the place, languages become something that you learn and come to embrace in a multilingual environment. Tell us about your journey and how it ended up being something you wanted to do as a job, as a work.
Well, as you said, I was born in exile to South African parents in Lesotho. And in Lesotho, I studied Lesotho and I am still fluent in it. However, I did lose fluency when my family and I left Lesotho. And it was important to me to be able to regain fluency in that it's part of my identity, it's part of culture. It's part of just being able to interact with people. An example I like to share a lot is that I wouldn't understand jokes. So I wouldn't be part of the what is happening in the communication. I would make a lot of linguistic mistakes in trying to be able to communicate. So for me it was important to feel South African, to claim my identity as a South African, particularly one that did not grow up in this country, to be able to do that. So it's something that I parked for a while, and I returned to it in the last 2 years. But then also, having learned 9 languages over time, I've always had an interest in language, and also in influencing.
So I'm curious about children. You know, with all the movement that we're seeing across the continent now, you've got children who are half Shona, half Pedi, half this. What do you do as parents? Do you talk to them in both languages, and are they capable of learning many languages at the same time?
Yes. You talk about being part Shona and part Pedi. That's my home situation, in that when my children were born, we tried the strategy that's one parent, one language. So my husband would speak Shona and I would speak Sesotho to them. However, we did find that as they went to preschool, they tended to lose that fluency because they spend the whole day at a preschool. And that's often where a lot of parents start to struggle. Yes, I would say that as parents we need to be able to take the responsibility in terms of what we do around that. Children have the capability to learn multiple languages at any given point in time. Children under 7 as well, research would say that they gain fluency a lot better than adults. However, that battle is not lost. It does become an issue for people like myself who happen to live in communities where Sesotho or Shona is not a dominant language, that children start losing fluency in that aspect. So children have the capability to learn languages, but that needs to be able to be monitored, and different strategies need to be used in order to be able to support that process.
All right, you're teaching now. Who are you finding are coming to you and saying, listen, I need your help with these languages?
It's very interesting that I'd classify them into different groups of people. A lot of parents are bringing their children to be able to say, I want my child to learn my heritage language, International Mother Language Day. I want my children to learn my language. And it's important for me because it's important for my identity. So I find a lot of parents who are bringing their children for that reason. I do at the same time find parents who are saying, I would like to bring my children, but I'm a bit resistant to pay for a service like that when I know I failed. And I'm acknowledging my failure, but I'm not quite sure what to do about it. I also get a lot of parents who are curious about African languages. Perhaps their children are studying languages, particularly isiZulu, at school, and they want them to be able to have extra languages. I'm also started going into schools, so schools, particularly private schools that only offer Afrikaans as an option, to be able to give those options. Right. And adults are coming through as well. Either adults who are heritage speakers or adults who are just interested in languages.
What's the best way to learn a language? Assimilate in communities?
That's actually the best way. The best way is to be able to immerse yourself in different ways. And what does immersion mean? It's about the language that you're targeting to speak. Find the people who are speaking it. Yes, I think services like language schools provide an important bridge in that. But coming in for an hour and a half a week is not enough to be able to cement knowledge. It is enough to be able to get you in and help you understand, but the practice is important. Practicing with people, the speakers of language, watching programs like you have a plethora of them at the SABC. The children's programs are quite good. The programs on SABC 1, 2, etc., where they're in different African languages, those are quite useful to be able to watch. Avoiding the subtitles, I would say.
Yeah, I cheat with those. Do you know, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I think this is a conversation we really need to pick up again. So in the meantime, I'd say tatenda zikuru zikomo kwambiri kiarebuha siabonga asante sana medasi for coming through and sharing this very important issue with us on such a special day. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay, so that was Motsabane Sexwale, who's the founder and CEO of Rera Language School, something that you want to make a note of if you want to learn a new language.